So today I'm here, sat down at the Golf Groove again, doing an in conversation with Simon, who is the Managing Director of Duca del Cosma UK. Very excited to have this conversation. I've been in conversation with Simon and Duca del Cosma for a few months, and I think there's some really exciting things happening with the company and the work that you're doing in women's golf. So, I guess to kick things off, it'd be great to hear from you about what your background is and how did you get involved with Duca del Cosma over here in the UK?
Well, I've been working in the sporting goods industry for most of my life. I received a phone call late last year to ask if I'd be interested in working at Duca. The brand really resonated with me, so I'll come on to that in a few minutes. But yeah, I joined the company in January, and it's a really fantastic brand to work for.
Yeah. And Duca's obviously got Italian roots. The products are Italian designed and it originated over there, but what kind of drew you to the brand and its kind of uniqueness to kind of take the leap and move into the footwear?
I think that it was a brand that, as I said earlier, really resonated with me. I like brands that are trying to do something different, trying to be a bit disruptive. Yeah. You know, I think golf is a sport where there are lots of really big, long-established players. And actually the inspiration behind the start of the brand I thought was particularly interesting. So an Italian footwear designer, Baldovino Mazziato, who was born in the Venetian area. He got into golf around just over 20 years ago. And he describes it as he caught the golf virus. So he absolutely loved golf, yeah. Became obsessive about golf. But as a designer, he just couldn't believe how unattractive, how ugly most golf shoes at that time were. So he had this idea of designing and creating his own range of golf shoes. Yeah. And he started it with his wife. And I just love that sort of really authentic passion where the brand came from in the first place. He is still the design influence behind the brand today, so he's still 20 years later very involved in the design of the products. And I think it's that sort of Italian style and also versatility that he felt was important. So I think Duca was at the forefront of the spikeless outsole. I think historically golf has always been a spiked sport. Yeah. Now the vast majority of golfers actually play in spikeless shoes. So I think for me it was a brand that was at the forefront of something, and also trying to disrupt a very established status quo.
Yes, and it's nice to see there are more and more of those disruptive sort of smaller brands coming about, but you can tell from the product, which we're both actually sporting right now, that it is very design led. I think a lot of the kind of more traditional golf brands and a lot of things that happen in the golf industry nowadays are often so conformative, and this is the way it's always been done and it's kind of that works, so let's repeat it.
Yep.
And I think that it's great when you come across brands that are forward thinking, and I think Duca del Cosma definitely sits within that bracket. Versatility of the products is something that stands out a lot to me, because I'm very much one of these commuter golfers. I'm traveling on the trains all the time and I don't have a car, so when I can find golf products, apparel, footwear that I can use for multiple things, then it really hits the nail on the head. And I think that there's more and more golfers looking to do that now. Do you find that there's quite a big market or appetite within that market for you guys and that versatility of the products?
Yeah, and I see it only growing. I mean, I suppose if you think about the fitness industry and leggings for women, you know, 20 years ago, who would have imagined that ladies would be wearing leggings for everyday use now? And I think it's that convenience and comfort that people want. And I don't see any reason why we've worn our golf shoes here today, and we both know that they can be worn for other things. So, you know, why can't golf footwear also be used for other things?
Yeah.
You could take your dog for a walk in these shoes. I went to a festival in a field a couple of weekends ago. Wonderful British summer, driving horizontal rain, and I thought to myself before I went, you know, what shoes am I going to wear? I wore my Ducas. But they were you know, waterproof, and they were great on the dance floor later on as well. So that's true versatility.
Perfect. If you can wear them in the rain and you can dance in them, then
you can.
Everybody needs a pair in their wardrobe.
Exactly.
Remember that. I think that you've mentioned the leggings aspect of kind of golf fashion. I mean, you've said, who could imagine women wearing leggings in the streets, let alone now golf leggings are a thing that exists that
very
people
true.
can wear on the course.
Yeah, very true.
And that's quite a topical thing that I find myself and other colleagues talking about in golf and how we can increase female participation. And it is a lot of the conversation around apparel. So I guess it'd be interesting to know from your perspective, other than the product, how do you feel Duca will move forward kind of helping encourage more women into the sport? I know that we're doing some work with Scratch and Duca and getting the product in front of more people to kind of demonstrate that versatility, but are there any other sort of initiatives or anything that you guys have got planned, whether it's on the pro side of the game or if it's on the amateur side of the game, to spread the love, but also help get more women into the game?
Yeah, I was staggered by actually just how male-dominated golf is. You know, I think female golf participation is around 15%. Some people say 20%. Some people say it's a bit lower than that. In continental Europe, it's much more 50-50. So for me, that was just a really gobsmacking statistic, and just something that with a brand like ours, I think we are well placed to just support the growth of women's golf. And working with your organisation, obviously we can look at organising events to encourage more women to play golf. But I think there are challenges there. You know, it is happening. You know, I think female golf participation is growing, but it's not an easy sport to take up. You know, if someone wants to take up running, they can just sign up to the, you know, Couch to 5K and be running within a day. But I think in golf you need so much equipment. It's a technical sport. So I think the sport in general needs to be doing a lot more to encourage female participation, make it easier. And I think the way that you're trying to encourage people to play, just by making them feel it's okay to come along and have a go, I think that's the key. And I think also lots of ladies I know who are sporty, they often like to enjoy their sport with other ladies, so with friend groups. Yeah. So I think, again, creating an environment where people enjoy something with friends, I think is really important.
100%.
So I think there are lots of ways in which we can play a small part in that. But yeah, it's just something that really struck me as a statistic that needs to change. And that'll be good for everybody.
Yeah.
I know it's not a criticism of the way the sport is in any way. It's just an observation of the way the sport has evolved. Yeah. And I think now there's a real opportunity to change that, and it is changing.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah, you mentioned fashion, and I think that is something that Duca is particularly strong on. I think other brands certainly historically have been guilty of taking men's golf shoes and doing a pink version of that shoe for women without really designing women's shoes from the bottom up. I think one of the things that Baldovino has really tried to do is design aesthetically beautiful shoes for women that actually perform as well. So I think for women that want to have more of a fashion take on their sport, and I think probably a high percentage do, I think Duca will really appeal to them. And of course, we are fashionable for men as well. And there are lots of men these days who like to dress more fashionably for their sports. But obviously today our focus is more on women. Yeah.
But no, don't want to neglect the men. Duca do obviously make fantastic men's shoes too. So, versatile in that way as well. But actually, in terms of the broader footwear offering that you guys have, one thing that I do think is worth mentioning is that you guys are at the forefront, or we're ahead of your time in terms of spikeless shoes.
Yeah.
But you have also got spike shoes in the range now.
Well, we've always had a spiked offering,
Right.
and I think although the majority of golfers these days, certainly recreational golfers, will play in spikeless because of the comfort and versatility and so on, I still think under certain maybe very wet conditions, or if you're more of an elite golfer, there are occasions when you would want to wear spiked. So we do have a pro spiked range, and I think it's important that a percentage of our range is aimed at that elite level, who are really looking for the ultimate traction.
Yeah, and I have heard that there are benefits to having the spikes in the shoes. Not sure I benefit from it personally in my game, but it can give you the things like the better grip and the further distance and all of those great things. And obviously in worse weather conditions, you might need that extra grip just even walking around the course. So the designs of the Pro Spikes range are great, and I think that you've nailed the design versus practicality and function of those.
Thank you.
As we're kind of coming to an end with this, but it would be interesting to know what's next for Duca del Cosma. Like we've got through almost to the end of the summer season of 2023, and what's lined up for 2024, if you've got there yet, or the nearer future?
Well, yeah, I mean, I just because of the way the lead times work, we've already designed and developed our range for Spring Summer 24. So yeah, I have seen that. There are some really fantastic looking shoes with completely new sole units. So again, it's a real progression for the range. But actually, a recent bit of news which is really exciting. Within the last week, we have signed Georgia Hall as a brand ambassador for footwear, so she
Amazing.
signed with us just over a week ago, and then went straight on to play in the Women's Open last week and over the weekend. So we're absolutely thrilled to have her on board. And again, I think that just shows how serious we are about women's golf and about raising our profile here in the UK.
Yeah.
And in terms of the future, I think, for me, there's the opportunity to investigate more the biomechanics of golf, and really striving to find what the ultimate golf shoe requires. And we're doing quite a lot of work on that. And I think the brand concept has the potential to be extended significantly beyond golf. I think if you imagine that whole kind of premium Italian styling and quality, for me the question is, clearly golf is a wonderful sport and we need to do our best there, but why stop at golf? I think there are various other areas that we could extend into.
I agree. And if anybody has ever tried Italian-made, Italian-designed shoes, the leather and the quality of them is phenomenal, and I can definitely attest to that with these. So, you guys are doing a great job, and I'm very excited to do more with you guys, and particularly have you guys at the Women in Business Golf Day with some product there to show and feel and try, and hopefully we also fit into the 2024 agenda along with Georgia Hall. So congrats on signing her too. She's a great advocate for women's golf and a fantastic role model. So very good name there.
We're really excited and really looking forward to your event as well. And I think what you're trying to do there, mixing business and also an introduction to golf for people that haven't played, and obviously golf for people that have. I think the concept for the day is really fantastic, and yeah, we're delighted to be involved.
Thank you. We'll be doing some stuff with Duca del Cosma, as you've heard. If you haven't already, check them out online. Do check out their website and see what they have available for both men and women. Thanks,
Thank you.
guys.